After the theatrical run of The Meg 2: The Trench, let's explore the latest updates on Meg 3, including release dates, cast details, plot speculations, and more. Back in 1975, Steven Spielberg revolutionized Hollywood with his film Jaws, not only marking the birth of the summer blockbuster, but also sparking a growing appetite among audiences for shark-themed movies. More suspense, more gore, and more terror. This craving became evident in the subsequent Jaws sequels, particularly the one where the menacing great white shark seemed to stalk Ellen Brody and ominously emerged from the water with a menacing roar. Over the past 5 decades, we've witnessed a diverse range of shark films, from the horrifying real-life ordeal in open water to Blake Lively's heart-pounding showdown in The Shallows, along with a slew of entertaining yet budget-friendly entries like the Sharknado and Mega Shark franchises. In 2018, The Meg was released, harking back to the essence of Deep Blue Sea, offering an outlandish storyline paired with thrilling cinematic moments. With Meg 2: The Trench having come and gone from theaters, here's an overview of everything we currently know about Meg 3. Let's start by discussing where the story leaves off in Meg 2: The Trench. Continuing from the events of the previous film, The Meg, we find Jonas Taylor, played by Jason Statham, resuming his research efforts. He leads a team on an exploratory dive into the depths of the ocean. As is often the case in shark movies, everything appears to be going smoothly until it takes a dramatic turn for the worse. It's that familiar scenario where you suddenly find yourself facing a deadly shark with lethal intentions. Yes, that recurring situation strikes yet again. This is how Meg 2: The Trench begins, with the expedition quickly spiraling out of control. The crew becomes acutely aware that they are facing a dire situation, and that situation revolves around the menacing shark. If you've just watched the movie, you're already familiar with the thrilling events that unfold there. Although this doesn't pertain to the film's conclusion, it might sound a bit unconventional, but some might agree that Meg 2: The Trench is a more coherent film compared to its predecessor. The first installment occasionally had moments where the events felt somewhat disjointed, which left us somewhat skeptical about Meg 2: The Trench. Second installments of shark-themed films often struggle to maintain realism and can sometimes come across as reaching for new ideas. However, it's important to clarify that Meg 2: The Trench maintains a consistent level of realism from beginning to end. We're simply noting that the storyline flows more smoothly in this sequel. Now, let's move on to discuss that ending. One of the reasons we mentioned that the sequel surpasses the original is because of the added complexity brought by Montez and his crew, whom Jonas must contend with in addition to the unleashed prehistoric megalodon. Essentially, you have 2 simultaneous battles unfolding, and they are fought in a manner only a character portrayed by Jason Statham could handle. We've seen that Mana 1's technology has advanced significantly, introducing new equipment and capabilities. This technological progress also brings with it the inevitable presence of a mole working on the opposing side. In a surprising twist, the mole is revealed to be Jess, who gets exposed in stunning 4K resolution as it becomes clear she's collaborating with Montez. Unfortunately for Jess, her fate takes a grim turn as she becomes a meal for the megalodon, eliminating the issue of the mole within Mana 1. Nevertheless, the damage has already been done. Thanks to Montez, the prehistoric megalodons are unleashed and poised for a showdown, setting the stage for a climactic final battle on Fun Island. Despite its seemingly playful name, the situation is anything but fun. As we've seen in the first film, taking on megalodons is an incredibly challenging endeavor, demanding not just extraordinary physical strength, but also specialized weaponry. It's essential to understand that these sharks aren't going down without a ferocious fight, and just when you believe you've gained the upper hand, they resurface in a dramatic and unexpected manner. Amidst this intense battle, it's sadly predictable that not everyone will emerge unscathed, and some individuals will inevitably meet a tragic fate. In the midst of the battle, we witness Jonas engaging in intense combat, employing tactics like blowing the heads off the sharks. Simultaneously, he finds himself in a showdown with Montez, which ultimately results in Montez's grisly demise as he becomes a meal for the megalodon. The mercenaries and the financier, who were part of Montez's crew, also face a similar fate at the jaws of the monstrous predator. With Montez and his crew out of the picture, one phase of the battle comes to an end. However, the ongoing battle with the megalodons is far from over. One of the megalodons meets a gruesome end, getting slashed to death by a helicopter blade. The remaining megalodons are taken down by gunfire. And let's not forget the menacing octopus that posed a threat to Zhu Ming. Luckily, he is saved by his pet project megalodon, Hai-Ki, just in the nick of time. Hai-Ki is a bit unpredictable, you know? It seems like she could suddenly go rogue and harm anyone in her sight. But at the moment, it looks like Zhu Ming has things under control, at least for the time being. So what's the outlook for a potential Meg 3? In the history of shark franchises, we often see 3 or more films, and we can say that Meg 2: The Trench leaves the door open for another installment, but it also leaves room for it to close. A significant factor in this decision will be the box office success of the current film. It's interesting to note the negative reactions the film is receiving from critics, especially since, as we mentioned earlier, we find Meg 2: The Trench to be a better film than the first one. Now, if a Meg 3 were to be set in motion, where could the story go? In our opinion, the possibility of Hai-Ki turning on everyone could make for a compelling storyline. Imagine a plot centered around the pet shark that turns on the owner who raised her for over 20 years and all his friends. That sounds intriguing to us. Alternatively, they could take a completely different direction by introducing new characters and new types of sharks. Of course, all of this is purely hypothetical at this stage, and we'll have to see where Meg 2 takes us first. The future of the franchise may depend on the audience's reception and the creative direction the filmmakers choose to explore. Director Ben Wheatley seems optimistic about the possibility of a third installment in the Meg franchise. However, he has expressed a desire to wait until Meg 2 is released before delving into discussions about a potential third film. He believes there is still much unexplored territory within the Meg universe, and the international aspect of the story is particularly intriguing to him. Wheatley appreciates that the first film didn't rely on cliched East meets West tropes, but instead showcased people from diverse backgrounds working together in an everyday adventure. This approach resonates with audiences and sends a positive message about cooperation among individuals from different parts of the world. While the fate of Meg 3 remains uncertain, Wheatley's comments suggest that there's a strong interest in continuing the franchise and further expanding the Meg universe. While the cast for the Meg 3 has not been officially confirmed, it's reasonable to expect that some key returning cast members from the previous films may include Jason Statham as Jonas Taylor, Shuya Sophia Kai as Mei-Ying Zhang, Paige Kennedy as DJ, and Cliff Curtis as James Mac Macready's. Meg 2: The Trench introduced new stars like Wu Jing and Sienna Guillory, but the fate of their characters remains unknown until the release of the film. Additionally, there's the intriguing absence of Li Bingbing, who did not reprise her role as Zhang Suyin in the sequel, even though her character's daughter returned. The reason for her absence is unclear, but there's a possibility she might return for the third installment. The final cast for Meg 3 will likely depend on the direction of the storyline and the creative choices made by the filmmakers. This marks the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and share it. Let us know your opinions in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you at the next one.